It was a different kind of show, a different mood 1 week ago today. But we know what happened, and we are glad to welcome back to the studio to talk about it Arthur Delaney from Huffington Post, or as we call him, Mr. 98%.
Good morning.
All right, Arthur, you left here a week ago today. We could roll the tape if we wanted to. A 98% chance that Hillary Clinton was going to be the next president of the United States, according to the HuffPo poll-eating machine.
Yeah.
Have you now junked the machine? Is it on the trash heap of history?
We've got it eating sandwiches for a little while instead of polls.
Yeah, well.
The polls gave it some indigestion.
Yeah.
They turned out to be bad polls.
Oh, you're blaming it on the polls.
Yeah, all the polls were wrong.
Why?
That's something they actually don't know, and there are a few theories. There's the shy Trump voters theory, where people who support Donald Trump were less interested in talking to pollsters.
The Bradley effect, as some people call it, right?
Sure. And there's that and some other things. I mean, they're just beginning to get into it. There's going to be like a commission of pollsters to figure out what went wrong.
There should be.
The guy at Princeton said there was a 99% chance that Clinton would win. So this was not good for polling.
Well, to say the least. Is the technology wrong? Some people say they don't talk to people on cell phones. I mean,
yeah, that for example could be another problem. What is the distribution of people who are using landlines versus cell phones? Like, it's a really complicated stuff, and people with PhDs who design these surveys and figure out what is the margin of error. And I don't know, exactly where they're going with their investigation of Pollocalypse, which is what you could call the disaster of polling last week. They just totally missed the amount of Donald Trump support late in the election. I mean, it could be that it was just breaking late. And this is another possibility, that the effect of the Comey letter and the Comey second letter didn't fully get absorbed into the polling before it was too late.
It was not just we sort of started differentiating pollsters and prognosticators, right? I mean, like the pollsters do either the daily or they go out on the phones and they talk to people. The prognosticators don't do the polling, but they look, I guess, at the polling, and then particularly they look at the electoral vote. Like, I'm thinking about Larry Sabato's Center for Politics down at the University of Virginia. Charlie Cook, I think, did the same thing. But they're even on the electoral vote count, they were way off.
Yeah. So
all of them had Hillary well over 300.
Our forecast model was strictly polls, just what the polls in states.
Yeah.
And it was wrong. Some of the other models, like Nate Silver's, incorporate other stuff like economic data and historical data. That in Nate Silver's case, he had a lower probability, which was probably good, but still said it was 2-1 odds that Clinton would win. I mean, it was just a complete miss.
So is it time to get rid of the Electoral College?
That's a great question.
I mean, seriously, why shouldn't the person who gets the most votes win an election?
I don't know. I mean, the Electoral
Even if it happens to be a Republican.
It's just one of many things we've got in our government designed to prevent direct democracy from happening. I mean, we only had direct election of senators in the last
maybe 100 years.
100 years. So we are not a direct democracy, and this is one of the ways that we don't. This has happened at least 5 times.
Well, in our
history.
I want maybe you, Arthur, to start a movement to get rid of the Electoral College. It's also
isn't it weird to say now we've got to get rid of it after our guy lost?
No. Al Gore. The same thing happened to Al Gore.
Yeah.
He won the popular vote.
6 out of the last 7 presidential elections, Democrats have won the popular vote.
Yeah.
And by the time that this is all said and done, there are people who expect that Hillary Clinton is going to win the popular vote by 2 million votes. And
I doubt that.
I doubt that, but some people have said that. That's where I mean, she's already way up.
Yeah.
But in this particular instance, look, they both knew the terms going in. They both knew they had to win the Electoral College.
Oh, yeah.
It's over and done.
Yeah.
Right.
Remind your friends that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. That'll be a nice little comfort to you if you are a Hillary Clinton supporter. But yeah, moving forward.
No, I don't find it a comfort to me. I've
Right.
long felt that we ought to get rid of the electoral. It's also a way, let's face it, of protecting, and that's the way it's in the Constitution, to protect the small rural states.
Yeah, that's the whole.
From
I mean,
being eaten
yeah.
up by New York and California,
it's like having this
Illinois, right? Yeah.
disproportionate representation in the Senate. It's similar to having
Right.
members of the House elect members of the Senate.
But
it's old school.
It's
sure.
fundamentally undemocratic, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yes.
our government is not designed to be all that democratic. It's a representative democracy, not a direct one. And this is just one of several things that prevents the people from really working their will.
But
Which is what the founders' great insight. We can't let the people just do whatever they want, or it won't work.
Well, I trust the people, but I trust the people to make the right decision. And whether it's a Republican or Democrat who wins, I do believe the person who gets, to me, that's fundamentally what an election is all about. The person who gets the most votes wins. Period.
I don't understand a 21st century justification for the Electoral College.
No,
but
you know what?
it just feels like such sour
Let me put
grapes.
this. The Electoral College makes as much sense as giving blacks 2/3 of a vote.
It's got the same
Which we did.
providence. That was one of
Exactly.
our old school ideas.
Okay.
That is
Well,
no good.
All right. I want you to go out of here today with the drive to get rid of the Electoral College.